Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of Sheikh Zula, the
Aqua
Mike Rula,
Yeah.
the old schooler,
I
and
don't
so
know if I
forth.
ever finished Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
You know what? I don't know that I did either, to be fully honest with you.
I couldn't tell
They
you if
made
it.
more seasons of it like way later after I stopped watching, and I
Dude,
don't know if I went back.
do you know that they are, at least up until this year, they were still making Venture Brothers?
Well, so
Really?
actually, do you know that the last season of Venture Brothers was like, yeah, 2 years ago, but there were no other seasons in between, so you didn't miss anything?
Oh, really? Okay, because I had heard.
It was like 5 years in between seasons at some point.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? I don't know what's going on with that.
I mean, I guess I don't know where you stopped watching. I'm pretty sure I've seen all but the last season.
Yeah.
I and then now they're not doing it again, so it's over, right? Like,
so they.
Oh, it makes it easier to catch up then.
I was looking it up on Wikipedia just to figure out what happened here.
mhm.
Venture Brothers is one of Adult Swim's longest running original series in terms of years, and has the
Mhm.
record for fewest seasons produced of a scripted show per year, 7 seasons over 15 years of production.
Yeah, so like the first, and you got to think about it like this, right? The first 2 seasons came out relatively quick. It was like a year and a half between those or whatever.
And after
then
season 4, it's like 8 episodes or something.
Yeah, and then some of the later seasons are like 8 episodes or 10 episodes, and then it's 3 years in between, 4 years in between, 5 years in between.
Woof.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like they were working on it that whole time. It's just like Jackson Public and Doc Hammer were just like did so much, like so deeply in that show that there just was no like they just got too big for them and they just had too much stuff to do and they couldn't focus on it and then it couldn't get done because they were needed at every step.
What season did Brock die?
Like 3, 4, maybe.
I think that's the last episodes I would have seen.
Oh, okay. So you did miss a bunch then because spoiler alert, Brock is not dead.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like he's literally in a bunch of the stuff afterwards, so like it's not that much of a spoiler.
What a weird trip down memory lane that was for a second.
I would be super curious to watch that show now that all of it is out and you don't have to wait 100 years in between episodes, because it would be very interesting to see, just like watch it all back to back to back and just be like, can you make any sense of it? Because I bet some of the stuff is just like so wild.
I can't believe.
Non-sequiturs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because I can't believe that it would be. What's the right word?
How do you preserve the continuity?
Yeah,
over
there
the
you go.
gap
There you go.
that's
Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
Michael knew where I was going with that.
Because I feel like a lot of it took into account the fact that there was like 2 years since the last time you saw an episode.
Right.
And so like episode 1 of season 6 or whatever assumed you hadn't seen Venture Brothers in 4 years.
So I was reading
And
I was reading an interesting review of, was it Final Fantasy VII Remake? And it was literally like, you shouldn't replay the original because things like this, and I think what this applies in this conversation too, things like this that take time in between reference your memory of a thing. Oh no, it was about Star Wars. It was about Star Wars. It's referencing your memory of a thing, right? And so my complaint with episode 7 being the same as episode 4 is because I went back and watched episode 4, right? And if I hadn't, I would have been happier because I'd be like, oh yeah, this feels like Star Wars, instead of being like, they literally remade the same movie, you know?
Huh.
I suspect your argument holds pretty true for Final Fantasy VII Remake, actually.
Yeah. So,
So-
it in general applies to things that are made in this manner, and take time in between. So I wonder if it would work the same with a show that takes huge leaps in between in seasons. But that's the working theory I was reading in this review of Star. Oh, it wasn't really a review; it was more a retrospective, trying not really to defend the new series of Star Wars movies, but at least to approximate an argument in their favor, right? It was kind of an interesting thought to put out there. Like,
Yeah.
should your nostalgia be the only reference point you have for a new work? I don't know that I would agree with that.
I'm glad I'm recording this because actually I think the Final Fantasy VII Remake comments on this exact thing in an extremely direct way and has a response from it to it. But I think we all need to play the game before we talk about this because I have read a lot of spoilers and I'm the spoilers guy and I don't care about it so much. But it is the creators of that game have an opinion on what you just said.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, I have the game. I don't have my PlayStation. Ken.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what
Shout
this
him out.
means.
Okay.
Don't know what this means.
No, Ken borrowed my PlayStation to play Spider-Man.
Got it. I'm waiting for the PC version that I believe is coming one day.
Oh,
It has to.
It'll definitely happen.
What's the Michael? You know the timeline roughly. What do those things turn around as?
I mean, the Final Fantasies tend to turn around in a year.
So that'd be like April.
Yeah.
April of this year. That's right. That was a 2020 game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Andrew playing new games, man. Wow.
No, I haven't played it.
Well, owning new games. How about
Oh
that?
yeah. Well, I bought a huge bundle of like super discounted PlayStation because the new one was coming. Right. So it's on
Yeah, sure.
PlayStation 4. The Final Fantasy VII remake, and now there's PlayStation 5.
You can get physical copies of those games on the consoles for cheap sometimes. Just they go on sale various days or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I haven't played a new game. Come on. I'm about to play Shovel Knight. That's like 5 years old.
Good choice.
What a good game.
My JJ chose it for me.
Aha.
I was shocked to discover that Andy didn't own it. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm remedying this problem.
That's an easy choice.
Should we do an official start to a podcast since apparently we needed to have recorded the beginning of this?
I mean, we're continuing on from the Hang podcast from
That's
last week.
true. I
Episode
typoed the heck out of that
241
one. Yeah,
We Were Gamers.
there you go. Keep it up. A podcast in a brand new year, 2020. 2021.
Yeah, let's be careful there.
Thank you.
We don't want to. I've seen a lot of really good memes of like people being like, "Oh, you thought the year was over," and it's like the clock goes from 31 December 2020 and like flips to January 1st, and then like the meme is the panel getting destroyed, and it's like December 32nd.
Oh no. No. 241 on 2021. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. How was everybody's break? I mean, I didn't watch Venture Brothers, but I mean, I don't know if it was a good break. It felt short. It felt really short.
I had 2 full weeks off, and it did indeed feel short.
Which kind of feels like robbery in this year where the rest of it felt oh so long.
It did, right?
Mm-hmm.
My kids were home, obviously. And normally that's kind of like the time of break with your kids. And this time it was like,
This is the same.
This is the same. And I have less time because there's not really schoolwork. Yeah. It's okay. I'm not complaining, but it just felt like it was going to be, in a year that maybe you felt like, okay, the end of this one's going to be the relaxed time when I'm going to get to X. And then, nah, didn't happen. Anyway, I did get to a thing, JJ.
I love it. What is it?
We haven't talked cars in a while on this podcast.
No.
And I was going to pick your brain about how your car looking is going, but I decided to modify our SUV.
Well, the last time I heard you got like the windows tinted or something. So
Yes.
Is this more than that then?
This is more and I did it myself by my own hands with my own torque wrenches. I put on a bolt-on hitch for my car. I've never done anything like that before. It was really fun.
Are you planning to tow stuff?
I was sent a survey I'm going to start the story like this about our new vehicle that we purchased. A Hyundai. This is a free ad for a Hyundai Palisade. We needed an SUV roughly that size. And in the survey, they were like, what's one thing you could change about the car? And I said, you could not be cheap and add a tow hitch to the car like every other car already comes with in this class. They built, get this, they built in auto leveling rear suspension and sway control into the computer of the car for towing.
In anticipation of towing something.
It's bolt on. There's already holes there for the tow hitch. It's pre-wired for a tow hitch. But they want you to pay.
Yeah. I was going to say, my guess is they figured they could get someone to easily pony up $100 on the sticker price to get a tow hitch or whatever.
Try $900.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, was what I was quoted at the dealer, so I said no.
For their custom Hyundai logo on it, tow hitch.
Yeah, hold on. How much of that is parts and how much of that is labor, though? Because you can't trust the dealer's quote.
So the dealer's quote on parts was $385 for the hitch and then more for the wiring.
Okay.
I got a hitch for $220 plus $20 for the wiring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so it's probably close to like $200, and then like a normal non-dealership would charge you $100 of labor and you'd be done.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I did more than $100 worth of labor because I don't have a car jack to lift it up above my head and a winch to lift the thing for me. You know,
and you haven't been working on cars for 20 years like some people at these places,
right? and you know, I don't have like specialized torque wrenches that fit into these areas, so wrenching on stuff was quite experiment on what angle can I fit this at. I had a very nice neighbor. Oh, say what again?
I was gonna say also your kids aren't old enough to be able to hold this in place while I torque on it.
No, but when the bolts were somewhat okay, this is gonna sound bad because they weren't loose. I secured the hitch to the car with multiple bolts, and then they wanted to help. So once it was in a safe position that would not fall on them and crush them, I let them use the ratchet on a couple of loose bolts.
Sure, that's fun.
Playing with tools is cool. All people should be encouraged to do it because it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been ratcheting on a play yard that we've been building for them too, because you know everyone around me wants to be on the playground without. I'm not gonna get into it. Never mind. Forget it. Yeah. It was interesting. I've never. I mean, I've wrenched on a car a little bit, right? Like I've modified easy parts that you can just sort of get to. Like I changed out a grill one time. I changed out some headlights, but like those are not hard things to access or do.
Yeah, I was going to say I've changed bulbs and headlights. I have also done a grill in a car. I have reprogrammed an ECU, which is more complicated than it actually sounds. I've coated batteries, which is also more complicated than it sounds.
Nice.
But never anything like structural or mechanical like that.
Yeah.
So cool, man.
Instructions are easy. Yeah. I didn't know if you had anybody had any car stories in our car section here. You were looking at a car.
The looking is kind of on pause because coronavirus.
Okay.
I would like to look at cars in person, and I don't feel that dealerships are a safe place at this moment. So,
who can blame you? I mean,
not because I don't believe that the cars themselves are relatively clean, but because I don't trust that someone else hasn't been in that car and that the dealerships are actually, cleaning and disinfecting anything at all.
We did this at the very beginning of coronavirus, and I think I told you on this podcast that there were some dealers where we walked in and was like, no one in here has a mask on. See you later.
Yeah.
Not buying your car, GMC.
That's my worry.
Yeah. All right. Well, right on. There's some geeky stuff to talk about, and I want to hit the first one right off the bat. It's my news now. Who's the biggest fan of the DCEU here? Probably JJ. You've seen all those movies.
Have I?
Have you not?
Maybe. I haven't seen Joker. Is that in the DCEU?
No.
Great, then I guess maybe I have.
Okay.
I guess, I mean, yeah, I'm probably the only one on this podcast who's seen Wonder Woman 1984, right?
Correct.
Definitely.
So, yeah, so then I guess I have seen them all. Yay.
I heard a sentence today that will bring me back 100% guaranteed.
Ooh, okay. I want to hear it.
Michael Keaton will replace Ben Affleck as the Batman for the DCEU.
Wow.
That is
That's
not an
something.
onion. Yeah, it's not the onion. That is a true statement.
Are they just gonna do like which one is the Batman where Batman is super old?
Batman Beyond.
No.
No,
Batman-
that's
do-
the
Oh, are you
futuristic
thinking of the
one. You're
comic?
talking,
The comic.
You're
What's
talking
the
about
comic
Frank
where
Miller.
yeah, old
yeah.
ass gritty Batman.
Yeah, Batman Returns, I think is
Is
what
that
it
what
is.
it is? I don't
Yeah.
remember the
I
anyway,
think
the
it's
Frank
Batman
Miller one.
Returns.
Yeah. There you go. Because Michael Keaton's old enough to be that guy now.
Do you think that's where it goes? Batman, it's either Dark Knight or Dark Knight Returns or what? I don't remember which one of those it was.
I
Dark
like
Knight
that
Strikes
as-
Again, maybe?
Could be.
I like that as an idea because it's something different.
I mean, I think Andrew was hoping for Batman Beyond, and he's going to be sadly disappointed when they don't do that.
Well, there's a big question because Robert Pattinson is in the middle of filming a DCEU Batman movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does this mean?
And I believe that movie is called The Batman.
Okay, so does Michael Keaton show up in that? Because it's a big question. They specifically in this article said that Ben Affleck is out.
Yeah, but so then Robert Pattinson is Batman and Ben Affleck is the Batman. So like now he's not, obviously, because they're making a Robert. So I'm just saying that DCEU has no plan, and them saying anything means nothing.
Uh-huh.
Because
Except
they said Jared Leto was the Joker, and then they made a Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. So like, what? They don't even care. They're just doing whatever they want, man. Can't trust them.
but they specifically say that, I mean, it could be a head fake.
Too much credit.
Okay. Okay, fair point.
They're not playing 3D chess, Andy.
No,
This is
This
not
them,
another
like, playing less than one-dimensional chess. They're just trying to move the pieces.
this is not another Ken Watanabe movie.
No, I'm pretty sure this is just them saying like, "You guys didn't like Affleck." Pounds on the keyboard. What was the last time people liked Batman? Tim Keaton. All right, we're going with that.
I'm really surprised it's not like Val Kilmer ended up the first choice. I'm surprised they got to Michael Keaton before they tried out Val Kilmer is what I'm saying.
Sorry, Michael Keaton. Yes. My guess is someone said, find Val Kilmer. And they saw a picture of him. We're like, find Michael Keaton.
No.
No offense to Val Kilmer, who is a wonderful human, but he doesn't look like Val Kilmer did when he played Batman anymore.
Val Kilmer and I like food.
I can't play Batman either.
Nothing wrong with that.
But no one is asking me to, so.
Oh boy. That was my big geek news for the day. That would literally, I'm trying, resolutions are kind of silly. I'm not making resolutions, but I am doing my better about not, and this has been a gradual process of not being on my phone as much, reading like news and things like that, because it'll all be there. And if it's really important, it'll rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But this one graced my Twitter quickly this morning. I thought we had to talk about it.
I think the idea is hilarious.
I don't even know about
Whatever, who
hilarious. It
cares?
might be wonderful.
Who knows? Michael Keaton from Multiplicity is Batman. Like,
What
I
if
don't
he's
know.
literally
Let's-
the same Batman?
like he just continue from what was that movie? Batman Returns was the last one, right? Or did they do a
Yeah,
third one?
that was the last one he did.
And they just pick up that storyline and they're like, yeah, everyone's still here. They just got old. Nothing happened in between. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think they're casting about looking for anyone that they can grab onto, and they're just like, you come help us, please. We need someone who has any idea about anything.
Okay. I didn't catch this part earlier, but I got a text about this and I hadn't seen it yet. He's not even in a Batman movie. He's gonna be
Oh, it's
in
not a
The
Batman movie?
Flash. Oh no.
In the Flash as old Bruce Wayne,
Oh no.
and you're out
Yeah.
again.
Yep,
Oh
all the way
no.
out.
Do you know what this means? That means that Robert Pattinson is still the Batman in the DCEU, but
Mhm.
it means that they're gonna do the storyline with the Flash where he breaks through.
Time travel Flash.
No, not
Time
time travel
travel.
Flash. Crisis Flash, where he breaks.
Flashpoint?
Yeah, where he breaks through the barriers to alternate Earths.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
I mean, that was a good comic book story. I don't have any trust in DC to make that. All right, look, I'm just gonna say, like, based on having seen Wonder Woman 1984, I think DC is up a creek without a paddle, man. They have no hope. They can't
Yeah,
make
you might
movies
as
that
well
are any
get
good.
crazy like Flashpoint. Maybe
Yeah,
it is a
try
head,
it. I don't know.
maybe it is
Sure.
a head fake, and there's like Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. Didn't
And Val Kilmer and George Clooney and
George Clooney.
Jim Carrey, whoever, like, get everyone in here.
George
bring them all
Clooney
in.
should show up. That's for sure.
It,
They
you
should
know
have done.
the problem.
They should have done that
with
30 years ago.
Yeah, they should have. You're right.
And then you could have had Adam West in there.
Oh my god, yeah. What a crime that movie where they get all the Batmans together won't be able to have Adam West in it.
What a crime, for real.
Truly, actually a crime, because, man,
That movie would be 10 times better, guaranteed.
yes.
Oh, there's a train apparently. That'll be fun to hear on the recording.
Here's what I have to say about Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh,
And
good. This is a good
I will not
lead-in.
spoil anything.
Okay.
I will not spoil anything. That movie was done a disservice by the people who wrote its script. I don't know where and who does anything in a Hollywood script because like 50 people touch it all the time. That's how that works, right? There's like 5 screenwriting credits or whatever. So who knows who is wholly partially responsible, who wrote a first draft, who touched it up, or who did whatever or anything like that. Or like who actually did writing and just wanted a screenwriter credit or whatever. I don't know how this like that stuff works. But whoever did the writing for this script is at fault for why the movie is bad. The actors try to do what they can and to various degrees of success. I think some of them were better in the first movie. But there is just nothing you can do when your script makes no sense and is even the parts of it that do make sense are so poorly put together that you just are like, why?
Were they pulling from a story, or did they just sort of make it all up?
I have no idea. I don't know enough about Wonder Woman comics to tell you.
Okay.
But I can tell you that there was a point, I think, in this movie where for about an hour, this is like a Marvel style action movie, you know, those big blockbuster action movies. I want to say there was about an hour of screen time where there was no fighting.
Well, I mean, that's
Nothing
fine.
exploded. Nothing no superheroing happened for a whole hour.
I don't know that that's necessarily bad as long as something interesting is happening. My issue
The problem
here,
is that nothing interesting is happening during that hour
yeah,
either.
that could be an issue. Weird, because so the original script for the first movie was Zack Snyder, I think, which a lot of people would, land on being, I don't know about that. And then directed by Patty Jenkins. But I'm pretty sure this one was I'm looking it up just to make sure that I'm right, because
Okay.
I mean, I don't need to do research to do this because I looked it up before, but I didn't want to say the wrong DC writer. Yeah, it's Jeff Johns, who wrote a lot of those Crisis stories, including maybe even Flashpoint. Ken can correct us on that one. But then also Patty Jenkins wrote this one. So
Maybe
it
she
should have been
stick-
better.
Maybe she should stick to directing?
I don't know. Or
I don't
Jeff
know.
Johns is as
Or Jeff Johns
nonsensical
should not be in the writer's
as
room?
nonsensical in
Should not be
movies as the
adapting
page.
his comics.
Yeah.
from-
I can't tell. Okay, so to like exemplify this, right? You guys have seen the trailers for the movie or something, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's Chris Pine is back.
Yeah, how?
Do you want me to spoil the movie for you or not?
I don't care, but
Chris Pine is back. We will say.
okay.
You've seen him in the trailers. He's in this movie.
Okay.
The way he is back is explained. However, the ramifications of it are never talked about.
Weird. That's weird because
it is a thing, and but by the end of the movie, he is gone again.
that makes no sense.
Never discussed.
Jeff.
Never discussed about what happened there. Like how it happened is fully explained, but the fact, like, there are serious things that you will wonder watching this movie, knowing what happens and what brings him there. And Wonder Woman is okay with this and doesn't comment on it. The movie makes no comment on it. We don't see from them again. Goodbye. And that is how it goes.
Very strange, man.
Why?
I know. Look, Jeff Johns has written some stuff that I'm kind of like, oh, that's weird. But he's also written some stuff that's very complicated. Like, he rewrote the series of Booster Gold coming back and connecting it to the 52 crisis. And like all that was super intricate and it all worked. And it's like a really well-regarded series. So yeah, up and down, but mostly up for Jeff Johns and then Patty Jenkins. And this is a story with like Maxwell Lord in it, which is a really big, really big character in the DC universe.
Is he? I've literally never heard of him before.
Okay. Yeah, well, he causes a pretty big problem with the OMAC project later on in the. Anyway,
it's gonna be. You know what? I have no idea. But I can tell you that he is certainly in this movie, Pedro Pascal, and he does a lot of acting in this, and it's mostly pretty good. His character also has a lot of like, why did they make this part of this movie? But okay, sure, I guess you got to have a bad guy. This is a bad guy. All right, sure. Weird. Okay. But clearly someone is like, I wanted to make a movie commenting about Trump, so this is what we did.
Ouch.
Dude, he is the Trumpiest Trump guy. Like he's the TV personality. He points at people. He has the hair thing. It's a lot, man.
No.
But oh yeah.
I didn't need that.
But disregarding even all of that, right? Like he has character motivations. I don't have a big problem with the villain. But is it Cheetah? Is that what her actual superhero evil character name is?
Cheetah, yeah.
Yes.
She is a Wonder Woman villain.
Yeah, I have to make sure not to call her Cheetara, which is what I want to do, but that is different vehicle.
Yes.
Minerva, right?
Yes, Minerva.
Yeah, that's Cheetah.
That is the Kristen Wiig character in this movie. And like for a movie that like the original Wonder Woman, which was like so feminine, empowering, and so like female forward, or at least I thought that it was at the time. This movie has like a lot of really bad like tropes of like, oh, like the men around Minerva make fun of her because she looks frumpy, and
is that a comment on the 80s?
She literally walks into Diana Prince and drops her suitcase on the floor, and like all her papers spill out of it. Like a rom-com, which maybe is intended to be a comment on the 80s. I don't know. But then like she then does all the 80s tropey bad guy stuff too, and doesn't really ever go anywhere other than like her character wants to be like Diana was. So that's her motivation, because Diana is cool and stuff, and I want to be cool too and get the boys to like me.
So maybe this is an instance of you never go full 80s, like.
Yeah, I don't. The movie has problems. If you guys see it, you can, it is enjoyable if you're willing to turn your brain off. But if you unfortunately remember to leave it on for too long, you get sad. So
that's too bad.
For the cost of no dollars of the HBO subscription I'm not paying for, I can't complain. But if you are paying specifically to see this movie, I think you have wasted your money.
Bummer.
Watch something else while you're there.
Yeah, there are a lot of good shows on HBO Max.
Sure.
But
start with Watchmen.
Yeah. Oh, please watch Watchmen. Oh my God, Watchmen is so good.
Boy. Oh boy. Michael, what have you been up to, my man?
So we watched something that you had asked about, I think, on the last episode. We sat down last night and finally watched Soul.
Oh, thought you were going to talk about Cobra
Oh,
Kai.
No, we have not gotten to Cobra Kai
I'm
yet.
just kidding, man. Yeah, Soul is
uh,
great, huh?
I also watched Soul. I am very curious to hear what you guys thought about it.
Uh,
Okay. Question 1. Did it pan out that what you thought in the trailer was happening was what happened?
it only wound up being like a small fraction of the
Right,
story.
exactly. That was
Yeah,
the cool part.
which I like because we complain a lot about the modern trailer giving away all the good parts of a movie.
Right.
So I always appreciate it when a trailer holds back the bulk of the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very few and far between times that I have been tricked into not knowing the entirety of a film. Maybe not like the nuance of it, but I could like sketch it out for you based on a trailer. And it was really cool to be like, wait a minute, this is where I thought this story was gonna end at, and we're only like 15 minutes in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool, man. What
Yeah.
did you think of the film overall?
So my opinions of the film on the whole are tied to it receiving a mixed reception here. So I really liked it, but my wife was kind of meh about it, and I think the major point that it came down to was that this, more than any other Pixar movie, is not a kids movie.
This one is not.
So I started. We talked about this like right after we watched it, and I don't know what in this movie there is that's really for kids.
It's not slapstick or anything, but
No, it's not. But even like even the more subtle jokes are geared towards a slightly older audience.
there's a lot in there that my kids enjoyed. They loved the cat being ridiculous. They understood that the man was not in his body, and so everything that the body did was funny. There were definitely many slower moments, and this is one of the issues I have with I haven't shown them Inside Out yet, because some of the story moments hinge on understanding stuff that's deeper about what the characters are doing and saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I would even classify Inside Out as a less kid-friendly movie than this.
Do people not give kids enough credit
I think
for
so.
understanding emotions?
Maybe they don't.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, they definitely understand
people's-
the emotions. They
Yeah.
were sad when they were supposed to be sad.
Yeah, I think kids would be fine with Inside Out. But I agree. This movie has a lot. The stuff that makes this movie tick, or in my opinion anyway, is the like realizing that the thing he's been pursuing and pursuing it too hard is the problem.
Sure.
And that feels like a thing that a kid wouldn't get, right? Because kids are all about like going really hard into one thing, like being so obsessed with something. Or that's something I did a lot as a kid. And I don't know if that's a universal thing or not, but like him learning that that obsession is actually bad and you need to like live a fuller life is a much more adult lesson, I think, than like the one in Inside Out, for instance.
I think they got some of the lesson. I don't think they got all of the lesson. And if you're judging, Disney movies on whether or not they get all of the lesson, you got to go back to like pre, 2000 to give movies to kids where all of the lesson isn't there, because that's something that Pixar movies do. They're made for two audiences. They're made for the parents to understand one thing and for the kids to understand something else, I think.
Yeah, totally.
I would say, and this is specific to my children, but if I stuck Soul and Inside Out in front of them, I think they would enjoy and like Soul much more between the two things.
Huh. Okay.
There's a lot of that if you go back and watch Inside Out, a lot of it is about Riley. And Riley does not have any funny or moments to think about, really. It's all sad. There's a lot of fighting between the main characters.
Yeah.
sadness is literally sad all the time, and it's like not really. It's funny to adults that sadness is sad sometimes, but the lesson of what those people are going through is much more hard to grasp. And until you get to Bing Bong, there's really no sidekick character for joy other than sadness, right? And so, like, having this cat doing ridiculous things with Jamie Foxx's voice is great. So I don't know. I agree that it's not as kid friendly as The Good Dinosaur, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
If in the Pixar pantheon, they would pick Toy Story 1, 2, 3, or 4 over this, guaranteed, right? But yeah, I could see why maybe it's not the lesson or the tone that one was hoping for.
I mean, I enjoyed the movie. Did you guys
Absolutely.
enjoy it, Michael?
Oh, for yeah. Me, me in particular as a musician, they had me from the get go,
Yeah, my
where
wife similarly
he's like
also liked it.
explaining to the kids in that opening scene about his first experience with jazz, and he drifts off into playing the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. But I think I understand your point, Andrew, about like, this is
It's just me holding court about Pixar films. I love Pixar
yeah.
movies, and I think they're all very, very different in what they try to accomplish. And sometimes they gravitate for sure into certain categories of this is for adults and this is for kids.
I think
This is definitely in the adult side of that for sure.
Yeah.
I think the all the supernatural beings being named Jerry.
So good.
I
It's
enjoyed
so
a lot.
good.
Terry was a great
Terry
character.
was good. Terry was played by a woman.
Yes. Yeah, I looked that up.
And the way all the Jerrys just kind of lead Terry around by the nose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Terry,
poor Terry.
look over there immediately.
I will sort this out. Great, Terry. Thank you.
I love one of the Jerrys is played by somebody who was on the IT crowd, I think is the name of the show. Ray something. I can't remember his full name, but he's so funny. It's the lead Jerry, the kind of British high voice.
Okay.
And he's just I couldn't help but laugh every time he was talking. I would put this in a higher tier of Pixar films. I think it's really good in terms of what they tried to do here with creating a universe about lost souls without having to get into like. I mean, they really walked a fine line of almost religious experience between the music and the afterlife and all this kind of stuff. And they still kept it very universal, I think.
I liked that they neatly sidestepped all of the metaphysics almost at every single turn. They were just like, oh, you just get into the zone. It's good. Yeah. And then everyone's like, yeah, it is. They just don't have to worry about how any of that works. Don't have to worry about what souls are. Not their problem. Whatever.
Yeah. But it was kind of a cool way to be like to present an idea of, well, maybe this is how it works. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was good.
Right? Like this is how it works here.
They
Let's roll with it.
they lifted your need to worry about these things away from you. They're just like, this stuff doesn't matter. You figure that stuff out. Not now. We're watching this story here. Jamie Foxx is doing a thing.
Yeah. And they really nailed it with getting John Batiste to do a lot of the music there.
Yeah.
To kind of give that some modern soul rather than trying to like pull old stuff, that people would know.
Yeah.
Bringing in a modern artist to kind of reimagine modern soul. And
I had wondered if any of the like tracks or something were famous jazz songs or something that other people knew. I mean, my wife didn't recognize any of them, but she's not a jazz musician either. So it is interesting to hear that they were all modern stuff. So
yeah, Mike will be able to tell you. I don't know if any of them like were closeted old songs or anything, but I know he was working on a lot of that.
Nothing that I would have recognized.
Yeah, I think I love the outcome of me being personally very surprised at the change in story there and it being completely different than I expected. And so that twist of having got me a little bit makes me like it more, I think, than maybe other people.
Yeah. No, on the whole, definitely 2 thumbs up. Would
Nice.
watch again.
I think my next
Will watch again.
will watch again. I think my next one to track down is that Apple movie Wolf Walkers. I kind of want to watch that.
Oh yeah, I have seen the trailers for that. The animation style looks very different.
Very Celtic in its
Yeah.
design. It looks good. Yeah. Sean Bean's in it. I have to track it down.
Oh, how does he die?
Got him. Speaking of Sean Bean dying, that's a perfect segue. Andy, you talked about wanting to watch the Lord of the Rings movies.
Did you do it?
I have watched all of the Lord of the Rings extended editions over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you do it, and did you enjoy it at the end?
I mean, I enjoyed those movies. Sure, yeah. They're great.
Sure, but the original experience and the one that I have a lot is just like plowing through hours of them in a very short period of time.
I can't do that.
I can't either. But I'm trying to find an alternate enjoyment route.
You know, you have the movies open, you watch them for a while, and then you pause, and you go do something else, and you come back and you watch them some more, and you pause, and you go do something else.
Okay.
I think the thing I wanted to comment on the most about them is how well I thought the special effects held up in most of them.
What version did you watch?
So I watched the extended editions.
On what media?
Media.
These were probably Blu-rays I had at one point that I don't have anymore.
Are they 1080?
Yes.
Okay, so they are Blu-rays, which means they were recolored.
Yes.
You could tell that
Probably.
they were recolored?
I don't know.
Okay.
I believe you. There's a lot of things that were done. I think the 4K Blu-rays had some touch-up work done to the special effects. I did not watch those.
So the 4K Blu-rays did have special effects touch-up. They're talking about bringing back the original color too, because you know, at a certain point these things get so big you could just do whatever.
I don't know. So I think the thing that impressed me the most was the amount of times when they didn't use CGI made the movies look better than if they had.
Oh, like when they created the special carts and stuff to put people at different angles to use camera tricks and stuff.
And so like the times when it's most noticeable is when stuff is like very obviously green screened against a background that looks impossible with the set they're standing on.
Yeah.
Like Frodo and Sam on this like rock outcropping with lava coming out of Mount Doom behind them. Bro, that is the biggest, most obvious green screen of all time. But in other scenes, you don't know. Like, it just looks like they're there. It's great. Like, you know, Frodo and Sam creeping around the pool with Faramir and his archers above them and Gollum down below looks like it's there. It's awesome. Gollum in general doesn't stand out as like looking really bad until they like get too close to him, or they do like real close-ups on his face and stuff where they spent the most time, and so then it looks kind of okay because he's a mystical creature, and so kind of you hand wave it away a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks good for the most part. Like, the Ents are clearly done with models in a lot of cases, and so don't look bad. You know, the stuff where it shows more is like, oh, they're fighting in Helm's Deep, and there's like 50,000 orcs, except that the same orc is copy pasted 25,000 times.
Yeah.
You know, so that stuff shows it a bit more, but it's not that that one orc looks bad. It's just that it's really obvious they just cut and paste the orc, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Pretty good, man. Those books are pretty good. Those movies are pretty good.
Okay. I didn't make it to try and do my my old tradition, so I still want to try though. I mean, I haven't watched them in so long. It's been 20 years.
Yeah, they're old, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's been, I think
Those
it's
movies are
20
old.
years. Oh, man,
The first one came out in like 01 or 02, so almost 20 years maybe.
Were those 258, 02, 05, 08? Because it was every 3 years, wasn't it?
No. 08's way too late.
Or was it
These-
every other year?
They were every year at some point. They was like bang, 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 because they filmed them all back to back.
They started filming them in like the late 90s.
Yeah. I want to say it was like 01, 02, 03.
No, we're all thankful they shot it on film in the late '90s instead of Star Wars, shooting on
Yes.
Yeah.
digital for those movies that happened in the '90s, and now they've got a huge headache. Versus, oh look,
Yeah,
we
they
still
look
have the film,
terrible.
we can go back and get 4K out of it.
Yep, and they look good, unlike the digital ones, which look terrible.
Yeah.
The I learned, I fell down some wiki, as you do when you watch Lord of the Rings stuff.
You should
You'd be
fall
like,
down many wiki holes.
You fall down some wiki holes, be like, who was this character again? You
Yeah,
go back and you
I
look
don't
at
know.
some stuff, and then you're like, oh man, didn't that guy, wasn't he in the first book really? And like, okay, it wasn't actually Arwen who rescued them in the books, right?
It was
Wasn't it
Tom
some other
Bombadil,
guy?
wasn't it?
No, it was Glorfindel,
Glorfindel.
or
Mm.
another blonde-haired elf who has like a 1 second cameo in Return of the King at the very, very end.
Okay.
Anyway, he's it turns out Glorfindel is like more powerful than Elrond and is like on the level of Galadriel and stuff.
Nice.
They kept him out of the movie very intentionally because he's too good. There's a bunch of really interesting stuff when you fall down those rabbit
Didn't
holes.
Tom
that
helped
book.
them at some point, right?
Tom
Tom
Bombadil? Oh yeah,
Bombadil,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But they
he
took
does.
him out of the movies entirely too.
Yes.
He's in the one of the extended editions. I thought he was
No.
in scenes that got cut.
He's in like
Not
the
Tom Bombadil.
background of something, but
You're thinking of the trolls. The stone trolls are in the extended edition,
Yeah.
but Tom Bombadil is not.
yeah.
But those are some good movies, man. Fun.
I can't imagine they wouldn't hold up very well. The Keeper of the Water or whatever that thing is probably doesn't hold up so great.
Yeah. Luckily, it's only in like one scene for a little bit, and you don't see the face of it for more than like a second on the screen
When
at
he's
a
trying
time.
to eat Frodo.
And it's raining,
Yeah.
and there's lightning, so you can just kind of be like, and then they all run inside the mines, and you don't have to look at it anymore.
I remember watching the Blu-ray for the first time of them running into the mines and being like, those aren't real rocks falling down behind them. Those doesn't look very good.
Yeah, that happens in a few places. When Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas are escaping from the men under the mountain.
Oh yeah,
there's a
when the thing is
cascade of
tracking.
very obviously fake skulls following them down a set as they walk out of a green screen.
Yeah.
That's very obviously a fake one.
When
but
they're on the bridge of like right before the bridge of Khazad-dûm, when the
Balrog.
the Balrog has like chased them, and then the steps are like teetering back and forth.
Mhm.
There's a
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah.
really bad green screen shot there of them being like, I can't do it because you can't see me, but like them waving their arms towards the camera like, oh no, we're falling forward. It looks like a Star Trek moment.
Yeah, it
Oh,
does.
so good.
There's some stuff in there that is goofy.
The first
Balrog
movie
held
suffers
up.
the most.
I
think.
There is more green screen effects in the last movie than you forget
Okay.
or than you remember.
But did they look worse
every
than
time-
the first ones?
Every time Legolas slides on anything, it looks real bad.
Oh no.
The scene where he slides on the shield in Helm's Deep actually is the only good-looking one because I
'Cause
think they
it's
actually
real.
filmed
That
it.
one was real. Yeah.
The ones he slides on all the Oliphants all the time in that last movie, and it looks terrible every single time.
Yeah. Well, the Rahadrim in the second movie should look pretty good because they were all done for real.
Yeah, all the scenes with the horses and stuff all look generally very good.
Cool.
So anyway, those movies hold up. People should watch them. They're good.
Yeah, it's been too long. I need to go back and actually watch them and not just catch
The
45
extended
minutes on TNT.
the extended editions are like 4 hours, dude.
Oh, I know.
You need
I know.
to be serious about expending your time there.
What would it take for anyone to watch this children for at least 2 days so I could just start with The Hobbit on extended?
No, don't watch the Hobbit movies. Don't watch
all
the
of
Hobbit
them on
movies.
extended all the way through.
It's not worth watching the Hobbit movies. I don't think they're bad.
They can't be that bad.
Hmm.
How could you
Have you seen
take
'em?
100-page book and turn it into 3 movies? I have to know.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's the
'cause it's
problem.
not-
That's
it's
why
not
they're bad.
Not just that book
Oh man. Oh, that's right. They took a bunch of stuff about
from the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion
Yep.
and
Which have you read the Silmarillion?
it's like Cliff Notes.
It's a D&D campaign manual.
Yeah.
The Silmarillion is a history book. I don't know what you guys are talking about. What book did you even read? It's like a history textbook.
It is until the last like 2 chapters, and then it becomes an actual enjoyable book.
When you get to like Baron and Luthien and all the stuff that they did, right? Is that
Yeah.
when it starts getting good again?
Some of those are split out now into different books because his son
Could be.
wrote some of them as like stories. I have a couple.
Yeah.
The like legendarium stuff
Yeah.
that goes farther into other stuff that wasn't ever published or whatever is more readable.
I'm
because
hoping his grandson picks
and
up
in
the
fact,
mantle.
if you are interested, there is an entire book about our friend Glorfindel called The Fall of Gondolin that handles all of his deeds in the First Age when he was also around.
Wow.
Yep.
Before men.
He's an old dude.
Yeah, the First Age.
That's
you know,
before
like
men,
when Melkor, the evil Dark Lord, was there before Sauron even existed.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Morgoth came
Yeah.
later in the First Age, and Sauron was one of his. Yeah.
You guys remember more than I do from those extended pieces of information.
I've been down the Wikipedia hole recently, so
And I actually remember more of it than I would have a week ago because it gets pulled on for a portion of Ready Player 2.
Did you read Ready Player 2?
I did read Ready Player 2.
Michael, you've braved waters that I did not dare tread. I heard a review of this book, and then you just take it after this.
Okay.
But the review of this book boiled down to I'm Ernest Cline, Ready Player 2, because I can. That was the review in a nutshell.
I need to know what Michael thinks.
So I will say that the beginning of this book definitely felt like that. Like it starts out very exposition heavy, and not just exposition heavy, but like exposition heavy. Hey, here's a reference. Hey, here's a reference. More exposition. Hey, here's a reference that's more recent than the 80s because this book has been written more recently. But once he actually gets into the meat of the story, like what's actually going on in this book, it becomes more enjoyable.
Is it about the previous characters?
Yes. Yeah. It picks up within the first couple of years after they finish the egg hunt in Ready Player One.
So let me guess. Putting star-crossed lovers in charge of the internet doesn't work out.
I mean, that does happen, but it's not. So the pieces of what you just said do happen, but it's not a cause effect thing.
I see.
It felt the problem that they are trying to solve in this one definitely felt a little more tropey than in the first story.
Is that possible? Wasn't the first one completely full of all tropes?
Well, so the first one was full of a whole bunch of references, but the story, the idea, like the frame and the idea for it felt a little more original than this one did.
Okay.
So there's definitely like a bit of a twist at the end that I didn't expect, which was good. But the story itself, once I got into it, was definitely engaging enough to keep me turning pages. So I would say definitely give it a read. Like it's not so bad as to be laughable or unreadable.
But it suffers
give
sequel.
Give it a read and see what you think.
If it suffers sequel fatigue a little bit, though, huh?
A little bit, yeah, because there are like I said, especially in the beginning where it feels like he's trying too hard to hit the nostalgia notes.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of settles into itself
I often wonder how many
The
pages a book review is actually based on. You
I
know,
think it depends on who's
and that
doing the review.
well,
Like,
that could be part of
Yeah.
the problem, right? If that's their review because I can, and your review is the beginning of this book is the exact problem with it. That could be where they base their review. You know?
maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready for player 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 to email us about any of these fun opinions that we've had on media today.
I know we didn't talk much about video games, but I did play some video games this break. Andrew, should I become a Total War guy?
No.
Should I get into Total War games?
No. Did you
No.
I have a question and then you'll have your answer.
Okay.
Did you play the battle you played sped up?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh. Okay. So you remember what you told me about Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between Pokemon Blue and whatever the name Pokemon Sword and Shield?
Mm-hmm.
That's like difference between Total War Rome and Total War Three Houses. Unless you're not going to play the battles. And
are
then
you talking about Total War Three Kingdoms?
Three Kingdoms. Sorry.
Okay. They also have like a Troy one now.
Yeah, I mean they have a zillion of them, right? And so like,
And then
yeah,
have
they
all
might
the
add
Warhammer
different things
ones.
per era or something, but like, you're still unless you're not going to play the battles, you're still playing the same game. I think this is why
isn't playing the battles the point?
Yeah, some people say that it's not the point, and then I say, what's the point of playing the game? Play Crusader Kings or something else if you don't want to play the battles.
Okay.
I don't know. I maybe skinned like Total Warhammer. I might have. I tried these games. I've tried a lot of them, and I keep getting like 2 battles in, and I'm like, this is kind of long and boring.
I think Total Warhammer is like one of the less interesting ones because it removes a lot of other aspects that exist in the other games. Like you can't do any diplomacy in Warhammer. There's no diplomacy in Warhammer. It's war. Like so there's no like you can't like use envoys or have like, you know, alliances or anything. You can have like alliances a little bit in Warhammer, but you can't like do, you can't spy, you can't do intrigue, any of that stuff. That's not what
So
Warhammer
you might
is
be
about.
thinking of a deeper game than Total War, right? Like Total War, yeah, there's some like politics, but the politics are within your own army. So like
Sure.
you have to keep people in your army happy, but like you're still marching across a map and doing battles.
Yeah, definitely. That's like the meat of the game, right?
Yeah. So it's not like you're gonna, like warlord tactics or diplomacy or whatever. All of a sudden take over a third of the map through a diplomatic agreement or something.
I think I'm just curious to try one of these games. I've never played one.
I think you should try one, but know that once you've tried one, you've played them all.
I think a lot of people on the internet very much disagree with that, and they say they're all pretty different. So,
okay,
we'll find out.
Okay, I tried most of them from Rome to Shogun 2. I think I have all of those. And each time, about 3 battles in, I'm like, all right, this is kind of the same thing.
Would it surprise you that everyone recommends the oldest one that anyone should ever start with now is Shogun 2?
That would not surprise me at all.
And they say Shogun 2 is the last of the quote-unquote old style games.
Okay.
And if you want that, that's the one. You shouldn't play any of the other ones.
Okay.
And all the other ones after that are different and in various ways.
Man, I should beat my head into a brick wall on that one, didn't I?
Walked right into that.
He couldn't have possibly known I literally had read that comment about that. But yeah, that's what people say, that Shogun 2 was like the last of that style of that game.
They're
and
all
the other
like
ones after it
literally
were,
from
like,
Rome to
something else.
Shogun 2. I played all of them. I'm like, this is exactly the same. Uninstall, install the next one. This is exactly the same. Uninstall, install the next one. I tried really hard. Maybe I'm just broken on those. Maybe I should try Three Kingdoms.
I am curious to see how Three Kingdoms goes.
Okay.
That is the one that I have purchased, so we'll see how it goes after I finish Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which might still take a while based on how often I am dying.
Uh-oh.
You should watch the speed run for some tips, JJ.
No, I will not be doing that. It will just make me depressed.
Oh, speaking of which, speedruns are happening right now.
They are.
Yes.
You guys should go watch the Sonic Mania run. If you want to see a very highly energetic Scotsman. Does anybody... You guys have been working today, so probably didn't see much of anything so far.
I caught a very little bit of the Sonic the Hedgehog, the 06 of
Oh, right.
Sonic the Hedgehog during my lunch break.
The Android remake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
LMAO.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really funny watching the interview of that one. They're doing Diablo 3 right now. I might pop into that after this just to see what's going on with Diablo 3 speedrunning.
Yeah, they're doing an NG co-op any %.
Oh.
I mean, I am interested to see this Sonic Mania run. It is literally on my list of things to do after this podcast. So
Nice. Okay, cool. So, well, I mean, like, if you have comments on any of the media, if you want to tell JJ, actually, all the games after Shogun 2 are exactly the same also. Or send us lists of what you like at the end of this week of AGDQ. Where would you send it?
you could send those to podcast@weweregamers.com. You could also find us on YouTube if you search out We Were Gamers. Hit that subscribe button and the little bell. It helps us out a ton over there. We're on Spotify, Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, all kinds of places you could find podcasts.
Yay.
So do that. Yeah, send us email there. We're at We Were Gamers on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever else.
And Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2021. What a day.
What a thrill.